Hello everyone, Michael Owens here. I'm kind of going to go through a very quick in-home presentation. This presentation is the exact presentation that I use on a daily basis and a lot of successful agents are using on a daily basis. So I'm fired up to talk with you about today. One thing I do want to tell you when we're going through this presentation is if you just say what I say, it may not be your jokes, but you can own the jokes. But while we're talking, if you follow exactly what it is and what we're saying to do, you'll get the exact same results. And the result you're looking for is one result only, and that's picking up the check. So we appreciate you listening today. I'm fired up. So kind of give you some background. I've walked into the client's home. I've got the client's positioned exactly where I want them. I'm a male, so the male goes closer to me, the female goes farther away. Last thing I need is them thinking I'm playing footsies with the wife. Okay. So the other thing that I'm going to have out here is their lead sheet, their pieces of paper, what they actually signed and sent back in here to us. I think that's very important to have out there in front of you. So with that said, that's the setup. I'm going to, from this point forward, it's going to be just like you're sitting inside a client's home with me. So with that said, today I'm ready to go. So my name is Michael Owens. What's your name, sir?
It's Rob Jones.
Rob?
Brandy Jones.
Brandy. All right, Rob, Brandy. I got that right here. All right, so I'm sure they told you on the telephone what we do is pretty quick. Did they tell you that?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't lie to you. I'm quick. I don't want all your time, don't want all your money. Is that fair enough?
Sounds good.
All right, so as you all know, my name is actually Michael Owens. Now, I'm a national manager. Normally you don't get me, but the general area is sick. Okay, so I've been traveling all across the United States. So the last week I've been in California, Fort Myers, Florida, and Dallas, Texas. So I get the opportunity to travel around just a little bit. Okay, so by the way, if you know anybody, I'm looking for some good people. I got to hire some good people. Not the bad ones. I met my quota of bad ones. I'm looking for the good ones, okay? If you know anybody, have them check out my website here. All right. So, like I said, I don't want a bunch of time. I don't want a bunch of money. So, my job is simple: to tell you who we are, what we do, and tell you what this thing costs and get the heck out of here that quick. Fair enough? All right. So, who we are is we go between the folks who lend out money, insurance companies, and y'all being consumers, and we try to find something that fits. Now, when I sit down with you, I don't represent one company. I represent a bunch. I really don't care who gives you the best bang for the buck as long as it's a good value. Make sense so far? Mm-hmm. Okay. I only deal with A and A+ rated companies. People that have been in business at least 100 years, financially stable, not going to go anywhere. None of the ones you see in the news currently. You know what I mean? None of those folks. But a lot of these programs they work like this. They're what's called non-medical. And what that means is not that I don't care about your medical history. It's the fact that I don't need to poke on you and probe on you and make you pee in a cup. Reason being, within the last 13 months, you've done some type of purchasing or refinance. Make sense to you so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much about done. I can go on and on. I can tell you the greatest things in the world, but the fact of the matter is, unless I'm really talking about what you want to talk about, don't do darn really good. So, sir, I see you sign this down here. When you fill this thing out, what's your concern? I don't want to give you anything more than what you want or anything less than what you need, but when you fill this thing out, what's your concern?
Just if something happened to me that, she wouldn't be stuck with the land.
Dang gone. So let's make sure I got this thing right. You're saying that in case you don't make it home, you want your family to have a roof above their head?
Absolutely.
Is that important to you, ma'am?
That's very important.
You done got a good one when you got this guy. How long you been married?
15 years.
Dang gone. 15 years ago, you picked out a good one. Really, if there's a time to tell them that you love them, now would be a good time to tell them. Because you know what? Not everybody. It says that like what your husband just said. So I'm proud of you, sir. That's an awesome job so far. So you said if you don't make it home, you want to make sure that she's taken care of. And you got any children?
Two.
Any children, grandchildren? How old are your children?
14 and 11.
Dang, man, I got 5 of them critters myself. All right. So it says here that your mortgage is around $66,000. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, right around there.
Notice that I'm writing it very large on the top of the piece of paper so they can see it, because upside down it doesn't make much sense to them, so I got to write big enough, and that's why the piece of paper is on its side. How old are you, sir?
I am 35.
How's your health?
Great.
You male?
Last time I checked.
Good deal. It would be terrible to find out something different now, you know what I mean? All right, so how's your health?
Perfect, no problems at all.
When's the last time you've been to a doctor?
6 months ago, just for a physical.
They said you're still alive?
I'm still alive.
That's good. If you go there and you're not alive, I think that's illegal because you shouldn't be driving, you know what I mean? So 6 months ago, physical, that's good. What's your occupation? What do you do?
I drive a truck.
Truck driver. Now, you don't drive bombs or anything like that. You're not a bomb manufacturer,
Yeah,
right?
just local.
All right, because bombs, that's high risk.
No bombs.
No bombs. All right. No bombs. Got it. All right. How long have you been doing that?
15 years.
15 years. Now, anybody got hurt doing that stuff?
I've never been hurt now.
All right. So, but you know anybody who has?
No, all we do is just drive local and drop stuff off. That's it.
You ever worry about him not making it home?
It's Federal
Very sad.
Express. You probably heard of it.
Oh, yeah. I know the people. They're good people. All right, so this mortgage amount is $66,000. All right. So what you're saying is that in case you don't make it home, you want this money to go to your family. Now, here's how it works, okay? For whatever reason, accident, medically related, it doesn't make a difference. If something doesn't happen to you, sir, what we're going to talk about is this money will bypass probate and come directly to your family, income tax free. That's what you're looking for, right?
Absolutely.
You want them to be taken care of?
Sure.
All right. So what I'm going to do, what you're looking for, it seems pretty simple. It doesn't seem like you need 1,800 different bells and whistles. So what I'm going to do is, if you can, I'm just going to run through a bunch of different companies and figure out what's got the best bang for the buck, if you will. You know what I mean? And I'll talk to you about that particular company. Now, one of the things I'll tell you, though, is, I can sit here as long as the day is long and tell you the greatest things in the world, but if I can't prove it to you, it ain't going to do no good, okay? So the only thing that we can do today, even if you like what I got to say, is submit the request for coverage. Okay, now when we submit that request for coverage, just so you know, they don't require whole years of insurance paid up front, nothing like that. It's just the first month. So when I walk away from you, you're covered. So while you're thinking about them and they're thinking about you, you're covered during that period of time. Now the first thing that they're going to do when they get the information is they're going to run a motor vehicle report. If you got 10 DUIs last month, they're a little bit concerned about you. They think that you might die.
Sure.
It's not you, is it?
No.
I didn't see the party plates when I was outside, so I'm thinking they're pretty good. No DUIs? All right. The second thing they're going to do, they're what's called an MIB report. And that's like a motor vehicle report for your health. That's like if you had 10 heart attacks yesterday, they want to figure that thing out. That's not you either, is it?
Nope.
Right.
No health problems.
All right. So they take all that information together and they make a decision. Okay, they put the information from those reports and the application, and they make a decision. It's either going to be yes or no. It's either going to be exactly the way that we spoke about it here today, or no, we're not going to do it. Okay, it's not going to be like we're going to raise your rates or change things around. It's either a yes or no. All right. So let's just say that they said no to you. They got to get back that first month's premium to you that you give us as quick as possible. Because when they got your money, you might still be covered, and they don't want to cover you. They want your money all back to you. Let's say that they approve you just like you asked. In the state of Ohio, you have what's called a free look period. Okay, what that means is take it to your accountant, lawyer, CPA, sleep it underneath your pillow, do whatever you want to do with it. You're just not locked into anything. Okay, call me up, Michael, the sky's red. I won the lottery. I don't need it. You know what I mean? Now, if y'all do win that lottery, I got those 5 kids I talked about, so I sure appreciate it. I was just trying to help you. You know what I mean? So, but I'll never win that lottery because I never play it. It's just crazy like that. I don't know why I'm never going to win. But they take all that stuff together, like I said, it's either yes or no. They say yes, and nobody ever calls me back, you know what I mean, that says they won the lottery or cancers or nothing like that, because I always make sure I give them the best bang for the buck, but that's your option if you so choose, okay? Now, all right, so I got the deal here. Here's how the lowest one works. All right, the $66,000 is going to cover you no matter what happens to you. Like I said, accident, medically related issue, it doesn't make a difference. Now, since I said anything, just to be clear, suicide in the first 2 years, you're not covered. Okay, so if you're going to kill yourself, you got to wait 2 years and a day. But I would do 2 years and a week just to be safe. Okay, but don't do it though. You made it this far.
Okay.
All right. Now, ma'am, if you hit him upside the head with a frying pan, sir, you would still be covered. Just, ma'am, if we figured out it was you that hit him, we're probably not going to pay you. Okay, we're going to have to with your children. They're going to sell a roof over their head. She's going to be in jail. She ain't going to need it. Got it? All right. So, there are some things that are built into this thing that you should know about. One is called terminal illness. And what that is, if the doctor says you got X amount of time to live, they're letting you go to advance 75% of this money before you even go. Okay? Now, why are you going to do that? Maybe you want to pay off the house, pay off any medical bills, take one heck of a vacation. I don't know. It's your option. Heck, I've seen people take that money and go over to Europe and save themselves. Okay? Because of the treatment that they could afford that. But here's the deal. What you need to know is if you take the money and you don't die, the government going to make you want to pay the taxes on that because they're going to claim it as income. Make sense so far? Yeah. All right. So if you take the money, die. Next thing that's built in is what's called critical illness. Okay, now that's a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something like that. You ever heard of anybody have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now see, most of the time they're back to work in like 8 days. Not because they choose to, but it's real simple. It's because the insurance ain't paying them no more. So they got to figure out a way to, they still need some help around the house and those things. In case that was to happen to you, they have a $4,000 lump sum built into that. Now, the cool thing is that now if it happens to you, but it happens to you, ma'am, it's still covered. Okay, so both of y'all covered underneath that. Okay, children as well with that critical illness. Now, the next thing they have in here is what's called extended premium guarantee, which means that rate that I quote you today is guaranteed not to go up. Okay, so over the next 30 years, I don't care if California falls off in the ocean, bird flu happens, plague occurs, the rate doesn't move. Okay, in fact, you can take this particular coverage up to age of 95 years of age. Now, if you do think you're going to outlive 95, within that 30 years, though, you need to convert it to what they call whole life insurance, and that'll go up to age 120. Now, if you do make it to age 120, you don't have to pay no more. That's nice of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So, but the rates are locked in, so the extended premium guarantee, like I said, is built in with that thing. All right. Now, the only thing we haven't talked about on this thing is what they call return of premiums. You ever heard of anything like that?
No.
That's crazy, isn't it? Here's how it's like this. It's like you had your auto insurance for 10 years, you don't get involved in an auto accident, and they pay you all your money back. Ain't that the craziest thing you've ever heard? Okay? Well,
I wish I did that.
so do I, you know what I'm saying? But here's how it works, okay? See, I don't know in the next 30 years, I don't know if you plan to live here for 30 years, I don't know if you plan to refinance in 30 years, but here's what I know for sure, is that the plan is that you're going to live for 30 more years, okay? So once you have this coverage in force, you can take it with you, it's portable. So whether you use it on this particular house or you use it on another house, the rate is locked in at 35 years of age. You're never going to be able to get it as cheap as you can today because you're always going to get older. Make sense so far?
Right.
It's portable. All right. Now, this return of premium. So what I'll do, okay, is I'll quote that with and without the return of premium on there. So that kind of makes sense. So we'll do that with and without the return of premium, so you know the difference between the two. What we're looking like here. Now this is total, okay. Now, I should tell you some other things. Now you said you got two kids, right, underneath the age of 18 years of age. Okay. This particular company is called Foresters, and they're one of the big sponsors of Children's Miracle Network. All right. One of the things that they do is they like to give back to their community. Okay, and one of the ways that they do this, let's say, God forbid, something was to happen to y'all, and we understand that that benefit may pay out, but whoever would become legal guardian of those children, they get basically, like they call it like a child support, an orphan scholarship, an orphan money, if you will. So on a monthly basis, and currently as it states right now, they actually get $300 a month per child. Okay, and that goes all the way up to age 18 years of age. Now here's what a little birdie told me, is I know that they're getting ready to change some things, and this number is going to go up to $900 per child. So each child, all the way from 0 to 18 years of age, is going to receive that money on a monthly basis over and over and over again. Like for me, I got 5. So if they did that 9 times 5, that's $4,500 a month that they're getting for child support. And then this money can be left to them then, so when they're 18 years of age. Now the other cool thing is that they actually, at age 18 years of age, they got $24,000 for higher education. Right? Now, what that means is that they choose to go, they get out of high school, they choose to go to college, they're going to get $6,000 a year for the next 4 years. That's that $24,000. And that number may go up too, but it's $24,000 now. Make sense so far?
That's fantastic.
And this it doesn't cost anything additional. It's not like I can take this off or anything like that. It's not like it's any less. It's this built in. So what we're looking like here, total here on a monthly basis, sir, you're looking at $45 a month, and that's the one without the return of premium, okay? And then with the return of premium, what you're looking like on there is $65 on a monthly basis. And that's with the return of premium. Now, when you look at those, which one of those make better sense to you?
That's just for me, right?
That's right. I didn't charge anything for her.
Probably the one with the return of premium.
That's the one that makes sense to me too. Now here's the cool thing about this thing, is that when return of premium, when you get it, okay, the money, when it comes back to you, you don't pay taxes on it anyway. It's just your money. Okay? Now, before we go too much further though, let me ask you a couple questions, make sure so far everything I told you is true. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Now, you planning to do any ballooning, sir?
Any ballooning?
Yeah, like hot air ballooning?
No.
How about bungee jumping?
No.
You much into cliff diving?
No, none of that stuff.
Hang gliding?
No.
Motorized racing?
Nope.
Planning to fly a plane, got a pilot's license or anything like that?
I play it pretty safe.
Swim with sharks?
Don't swim with sharks.
You're doing good so far. Nice and boring, that's how we like it. You a wanted felon?
No.
Good so far. Now, were you born here in Ohio?
Uh-huh.
How long have you been at this property?
We've been here, 5 years, 6 years?
Is that about right, man?
Yes. 5 years.
Now, you said you went to the doctor about 6 months ago. Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was about 6 months ago.
And that was like for a checkup. They said you're still alive?
Yeah, just like a physical. Everything was fine.
Gotcha. What's your doctor's last name?
Harris.
Is that here in town?
He's in here in Springboro.
Springbrook, gotcha. Drink alcohol? It's okay if you say yes.
Yeah, not really. I mean, just I might
Social.
have social. I might have a beer maybe once every couple months.
All right, so like maybe we got 6 beers a year, 6-pack a year.
At the most.
All right, and that's beer that you drink, you say?
Yeah, more or less. I don't really have any.
All right. Now you are a U.S. citizen, those things like that. That all makes sense to you. And you said no DUIs or anything like that. No problems with your driving record. Don't smoke, nothing like that, right?
No,
No crack cocaine or nothing like that.
just occasionally. No.
I feel your pain. Sometimes your pain, right? I got a couple kids too. I know exactly what you're saying. So you said no medications currently?
No.
All right. No family history, no heart problems, for yourself, no heart problems, no diabetes, nothing like that, nothing going on.
No, both my parents are still living.
How old are they?
75 and 73.
All right. Now your father's is that 75?
Mother 73.
You got any brothers or sisters?
Have a sister that's 40 and a brother that's 35.
All right. Now, you said you were a driver. How long you been there? You said it was 15 years, right?
15 years with Federal Express, yeah.
All right. Now, I'm not the IRS man, but how much you think you make on a yearly basis?
Oh, probably 60,000.
All right. Now, some people, they look at me crazy. You ever seen a cow look at a new gate? Okay, somebody tilt their head a little funny to the side. Okay, but that's figure, some people do that with your approximate net worth. Okay, so if you take everything that you had and you sold it and you paid off all your debts, what you got left?
Probably not a whole lot.
Yeah, you owe, right? Yeah, me and you both. Well, we owe.
Yeah.
Maybe like $10,000, $20,000 to get your furniture, things like that. And you're full time there, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You got a middle name?
Yeah, it's Jacob.
All right. Driver's license number, you know that off the top of your head?
R7546. That's Ohio.
Know your social off the top of your head? What's that number?
123 456 777.
Now, I understand that if God forbid something happens to you, you want the money over here to your wife. Okay, but if God forbid something happened to both y'all at the same time, where should the money go?
Well, probably our kids.
And I guess I should make sure you do want to go to your wife, right?
Actually, probably her mother.
Because I'm into insurance, I'm not an attorney, so please make sure that you want to go to the wife. Okay, so go to her mother. What's her name, ma'am?
Karen
Karen. And her last name?
Smith.
Smith. Got it. All right. Almost done here. All right, let me show you what we got here so far. Got all your personal information up here. I verified it was you by your driver's license and she would have you in the freezer somewhere. I got, in case something happened to you, I got the money coming over here to your wife. In case something happens to both of y'all at the same time, I got it going to your mama. We got you, I haven't been out here applying for 1,800 types of different programs and figured out you're dying, now you're jumping on board. Last time you had the doctors for a checkup, they said you're still alive. You're not doing any of the ballooning, bungee jumping, cliff diving, hang gliding, motorized racing. You're not planning to fly a plane, not a wanted felon. We got all this stuff. We got no medications, nothing like that. Okay, family history is doing well. Everything looks good there so far. Signature for you, sir, right there. Now, the next pieces of paper that I give you, these are the important stuff, okay? So wherever you keep your important documents, I need you to keep this stuff. What this says here, it says, well, go ahead and show it to you. Y'all got big plans the rest of the day?
No, not really. I just sit outside and enjoy the weather.
It is a beautiful day out today. Alright. So, every now and then you need to be reminded why you make your insurance premiums. Okay, we think this helps you. Now, just in case you lose my card right there, here's the 800 number, here's a local number for me as well. Like what I said, this thing says when I walk outside the door, you're covered for $1 million up to $1 million. As long as I said if you're not covered for up to more than $1 million, you're covered. Okay. Now this is good for 90 days. Now the insurance companies usually take 3 to 4 weeks to review the information. Okay. What you're going to be looking for is the Federal Express man. okay? So white little envelope bad, that's this application back in your money. They said no, okay? Federal Express man, good, okay? Now, in the back of that packet, there are foresters, okay? They have what's called Get More, all right? And it's like they give you free stuff, okay? So like free stuff is good. And here's what I can tell you without going into too much detail. If you take advantage of all the stuff they give you, it'll pay for your premiums. I don't like to tell you about that until we're done talking. I don't want to incentivize you to get it. But truth of the matter is, if you take care of all the free stuff they give you, it'll pay for the premium payments for you, okay?
Wonderful.
Now this last page on here is pretty simple. This says that they are going to run the MIB information, they are going to run your motor vehicle reports, make sure you don't have 10 DUIs and things like that. Other than that, the last thing I need, and I'll get out of your hair, is just a check for that $62 that goes right there to Foresters.
Fantastic.
No problem.
Now, what would happen is at this point, an individual would get up to get their checkbook. Once the check comes back to him, okay, back to the table, I'm then going to go ahead and get the payer authorization form signed. That I'll have by the time that they come back to the table. He'll hand me the check. I'll verify it's the right amount, and then I'll go ahead and put this piece of paper down out in front of him. Now this search says that the payment on this account, okay, that this was your account that we took the money out of, okay, and this verifies that this is your account. I need your initials right there. Other than that, folks, that's pretty much about it. I'll get out of your hair. If you have any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to give me a holler, okay, and we'll go from there. Folks that are listening to the video, at this point would be a great time to transition to look for any safe money that we have. I hope I've given you a lot of information over a short period of time.